Alright, let's get this party started. Oh, that is a lot of letters. It's already torn. Okay, we'll just throw this up here. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Just put this one... This can go up here, right? This is structurally stable. I had a whole other thing for the year. This doesn't work if I don't have the year. There's just P. Happy. Here are the numbers. 2 and 5 right here. There we go. 2 and 5. Hello everyone, Golden Nova here, and a big 25th anniversary congratulations to Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. It feels like only yesterday I was cracking open Starter Deck Yu-Gi and playing with some of the strangest vanillas I've ever seen, and now I can look back on all this time and say that I've gotten a single Nationals invite. Well, I can deal with that existential crisis later. For now, we've got presents to open, and I've got a very well-themed one right here. Let's crack this open. Here we go. Hey, there we go. All right. Oh no, my hat! My themed hat! Birthdays are not complete without the themed hat. That's part 1. And here's part 2. No, well, it's good to see that they take it seriously enough to put it in multiple boxes. Okay, so for what we also got, I made sure to get the 25th anniversary sleeves to go along with what's in here because there's some really nice cards that we're about to open. Here it is. Folks, I present to you the one, the only Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th Anniversary Rarity Collection, a celebration of some of the wildest cards over these past 25 years. The drawback, though, is that you can't get this in the States. They haven't really printed something like this, so to get this really cool commemorative collector's item, I had to go to today's sponsor, Buyee. And for that, I'm handing it over to VoiceOver Nova. Why don't you tell the good people what they can do with Buyee? By using Buyee, you can get your hands on anything from Japan, using retailers like Mercari, Rakuten, and Yahoo Japan, meaning you can get some unique and awesome merch you can't find anywhere else. Here's how it works. You browse a variety of stores to find that perfect piece for your collection, and once you purchase it, all your items are sent to Buyee's own warehouse where you can consolidate your order. So even if you get an OCG booster box from Mercari and a pair of Millennium Item slippers from Rakuten, everything is wrapped up in one convenient and secure package before being sent to your doorstep. Now, if you're like me, you don't normally browse Japanese sites to make your purchases, so it might sound a little intimidating, but don't worry. There's actually an official Buyee Discord server, which not only has a host of fellow enthusiasts ready to help you find what you're looking for, they also conduct monthly giveaways, which you definitely don't want to miss out on. When you're ready to start your journey to find cool collectibles and jaw-dropping Japanese exclusives, make sure to use my link in the description, cause if you sign up using it, you get a 2,000 yen coupon that you can use to save on your first purchase, as well as supporting the channel at the same time. Thank you all so much for watching. Now let's take a look at some of these goodies. Thank you very much, VoiceOver Nova. What a wonderful fellow they are. You should probably go click that link right now just to support them, because they sound really cool. Anyway, like I said previously, we got ourselves some special 25th anniversary sleeves here, and we're gonna go ahead and get these deployed real quick. I realize now, oh no, it's been you can stay right there for a second. I realize now that I didn't come in here with a game plan on how to get this out of the packaging. I'm realizing that what I thought was the entryway is actually just inside this outer packaging. Uh-oh. We might have to lean on some knife-based assistance again. There we go. I try to be cool. I try to, use my own ingenuity, what evolution and biology gave me to solve problems. And sometimes I just go knife sharp. Okay, so here is the special quarter-century logo that they've got on here. That's not printed. I guess that's on the card, which I'm down for. I thought they would just put it on like the packaging and it would otherwise kind of look like a remixed version of regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Card backing, but nope, that has the cool 25th, and it came with 100 count of these, so not only Will I be able to sleeve up all the cool things we get here? That's a whole deck. Other collectible items. We're going to set that over there, so we have those on standby. And now, the main event, the Rarity Collection, Quarter Century Edition. They couldn't just say 25, they had to be a little special, but honestly, as a born and bred Despian myself, I can relate. Alright, we slowly unravel the outer plastic film to reveal the shell within. Come on. Okay, so how many packs are we looking at here today? How many here? Set that back here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 of these we're going to be opening up today. Though it doesn't seem like they have very many. I guess that is a denotation that there's actually only one each. So we got 15, each individually packaged. Alright, well, let's see what all the hubbub is about. Let's take a... It doesn't have any, like, tearaways on here, right? Nope. We're gonna have to go for the good old-fashioned, find the centerpiece right there, and expand outward. I'm gonna go ahead and tilt this down a bit so that I can really lean into the experience. Come on. Don't make me get Mr. Sharpie out. And by Sharpie, I mean the knife. I realize that there's a whole other thing called Sharpies. Alright, let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, it's not just one. Oh my goodness, it's not just one. There's 4 of them in here. My goodness. Okay, what is our starting one? Okay, access, Decode Talker Heat Soul. God, I'm butchering names now. Oh my goodness. Lava Golem. That... Seeing play as of right now, Raw Sphere Mode. So we're getting all kinds of kaiju energy here. And Ghost Trick, Angel of Mischief. Heck yeah. Now, I don't know why this is in here. It might be because it has an alternate win condition for those of you who haven't seen Ghost Trick explained, like you should. I believe if you get 10 material under it at any point, you just win the game automatically. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a point in history where people were figuring out how to maximize the efficacy of summoning Angel of Mischief as quickly as possible. I do like having the sphere mode, though. Come on, alright. As per my usual Yu-Gi-Oh experience, I don't go into a situation with a strategy, I just kind of go along with it. It's clearly working out for me, though, because I've got package number 2 on lock, out of here. Alright, this is Compulsory Evacuation Device. If ever there was a historic card, it's this one. Junk Speeder, Big Synchro Climbing Tool. Infinite Permanence? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so nifty. What's up, guys? And then Fossil Dig. Holy moly, look at that. I really like this parallel rare thing they have going on for these ones. Holy calzone. So definitely Fossil Dig, as one of the most powerful search spells in the game, deserves to be in here at that rarity. You're getting things like Miscellaneous Source. In a card game where people don't read the cards, it is the most not read card ever. And with all of the dinosaur stuff coming up in Wild Survivors and Duelist Nexus, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a big pickup. Alright, let's go ahead and grab this next one. The fact that it searches, like, Reinforcement of the Army is limited to 1, and I can see why, you know. Any level 4 lower warrior encompasses not just warrior archetypes, but also just decks that have important warrior starter monsters. S-Force off the top of my head for Chiyomaru. But Fossil Dig searches 6 and lower, and it's still at 3. Weird how that happens. Alright, Lone Fire Blossom, definitely. A not as shiny Fossil Dig. Oh, My baby boy! My little goober! Oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful I've ever seen Albaz in my entire life! Oh my goodness, I'm not even waiting for this one. This is going to sleep right now. And then we have Fairy Tale Luna. I'm sorry I can't muster quite as much excitement for that. Oh, look at that! It's like ultimate rare foiling plus secret on top. Oh, that's staying here for the whole video. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, Luna, hang out over there. Fossil Dig. So yeah, Lone Fire Blossom, for any Plant Synchro deck, or Sylvan, this was a huge pickup. Fairy Tale Luna, part of a infamously annoying to deal with Luna Kaiju decks, but Albaz is, of course, like the headliner for the current lore series that you can find on the Golden Nova YouTube channel and other places. We've got a lot of really good lore keepers here in recent years, which I'm very happy to see. And to have him in such a glorious rarity is amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and... There we go. Okay, I've got it. I'm still kind of shaking a little bit. That looks good. I'm sad I can't play with that, but it is what it is. Okay, so oh my god. I know this card. I've been on the receiving end of this a million times. What is... It's Search's Boot Sector launch. It's not Striker Dragon, is it? I'm just going to say Striker Dragon. So we got Striker Dragon. We have Artifact Lancia. Wowie Zowie. Pre-Preparation of Rites. Nifty Nifty. And... Harpy's Featherstorm. Holy cow. Okay, so in recent years, you would see this in Fluanderies, but this is, of course, just really strong in Harpies as a way to shut off all activated monster effects of your opponent. I forget if there's any other restrictions on there, so that's hugely important. Pre-Preparation of Rites kind of revolutionized ritual decks, because it worked really well with decks that specifically have ritual spells that name other ones. There was a whole era where you would get generic ritual spells. Pre-preparation only works if they're specifically linked, but it's really strong. And then they started making generic ones that still ended up working with that one, so it's just a huge boon to all ritual decks. Artifact Lancia sees play in almost any format that has banishing, because it just shuts off your opponent's ability to do so for a whole turn. One of the not core handed traps. I would say the Ghost Girls are kind of in that position, but Lancia is always kind of in the backstage. And this is just like the rocket card for not just rockets, but like Dragon Link in general. If you're playing any modern dragon deck, Striker Dragon is going to be a huge piece of that pie. All right, man. See, I thought I had it. Oh, actually, there we go. Okay, there we go. Maybe I can just tear from the center. Maybe I'm trying to be a bit too fancy with these openings. Who knows? I guess it's all of you, because you're watching me right now, and you can comment on my pack opening skills. All right, folks. What do we got here? A Numeron Dragon. Okay, not only big deal in the show as like one of the final monsters, but also in really just out of nowhere rank 8 OTKs, because you can make not Draglubian, Dragleon. It's another number monster that you can just make. Summons this and gives you enough damage to OTK. Magistus. It's not. Is it Artemis? It's one of the Magistus cards, but this not only sees play in just Magistus, but you see this in Invoke sometimes too as a way to link off Alistair, and then it gets you a light material. So it's like a alternative to All Mirage, so that's pretty neat. Another Lone Fire Blossom. Oh, and this Lone Fire Blossom seems a little special. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. The Sylvan player in me is going wild, and then a even shinier version of the Junk Speeder we already got our hands on earlier. Oh my goodness. Let's get you sleeved up. You can sit right next to Albaz. You're not as cool as Albaz, but you've got some pretty good foiling, so I would like for you to stick around. Okay, so Numeron Dragon and the Junk Speeder here. Let's, oh my god, we are, whew. I'm happy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this. What in the world? The ones that we are getting the really high rarity for are things that I really, really enjoy. So, I think we might have talked about this on progression polls, which you should be watching if you're not already. We talked about Sylvans in our latest episodes because we just got through Primal Origins and Dragons of Legend too, so we kind of did like the whole, we've kind of gone through Sylvan's golden age, as it were, and just the absolute adrenaline I felt when I opened up Lone Fire Soul Charge, looping through 3 Lone Fires to go into a Hermitry, Soul Charging for 3 more Lone Fires to summon 2 more Hermitries and then whatever third plant I want. I don't think I've ever felt as excited about a combo as when that happened, which is why we should bring back Soul Charge, not for any balancing reasons, but just to give me something to do specifically. Alright, flipping them over, we have Ice Barrier, not technically part of the dual terminal storyline. I believe this is a manga card that Alexis uses, but this is a pretty good card for water decks. Off the top of my head, it allows you to, on an attack, it zeroes out the monster and negates their effects. I can see some special foiling in the back. Holy cow. Okay, we gotta focus here. It does that, and then while it's in the graveyard, it also sends like a level 5 or higher water from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can banish this to put a water into your hand. Something like that. This is a really nifty card to have for any water deck. Tour Guide of the Underworld. I like that. A big Burning Abyss fan, as some of you might know. Eldritch the Golden Lord. Uh-oh, we've got Eldritch in the house, folks. Lock down your valuables, because the Golden Daddy is looking for him. And next we have Sea Moon, the Poison Wind. Whoo! Whoo! My goodness. Now, I'm not a big Blackwing player myself, but, you know, when I see a nice card, I see a nice card. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, baby. It's got kind of the same foiling as some of these ones we've had right here off to the side, but this one is extending out to the entire card. It knows no limits. And let's go ahead and get... So obviously Blackwing's a huge part of the game's synchro from mid to late, huge power force. Eldritch was one of the strongest archetypes out of Secret Slayers. Immensely splashable, especially in decks that love sending spells and traps to the graveyard. Huge body, great control monster to have. Tour Guide of the Underworld basically ran Burning Abyss by being a 1-card Dante / any rank 3 you could ever want. And then Ice Barrier, I'm sure, is important in some things that I am not up to date on. Holy cow, all these shiny cards! I'm still reeling from the Albaz thing. Can we get a second Albaz of superior rarity quality out of these packs? Oh, there we go. Ooh, am I gaining pack opening proficiency? Will I finally be able to open with the best of them, like no one ever was? Okay, Egyptian God Slime. This is kind of like Numeron Dragon. This is more important for that it's the fact that it's an anime card that got printed recently, but this did feature very heavily as part of Yami Merrick's stratagems. Dark Ruler No More, huge tech card, introduced over as a TCG exclusive card for a while out of the Gold Sarcophagus tins, eventually reprinted everywhere as most exclusives and regions end up doing. Incredible board breaker in certain formats. In some, it doesn't do too much, especially if you can't, like, effectively make another strong board after you've resolved this to weather your opponent's next turn, because they're going to live because this stops your opponent from taking damage. But if anything deserves to be in a big celebration set like this, it's definitely Dark Ruler No More. On top of that, Dragos Tapelia in, I believe, another really nice foiling. Oh my goodness. Okay, so on top of Predaplanche just being a really good deck, this is one of the premier super polymerization targets, because all it takes is a dark monster and a fusion. It doesn't necessarily need any Predaplant monsters, so this is great against fusion decks, or when you're playing a fusion deck, because you can just use Super Poly as a battle trick, but it's also seen a lot of play recently in Tier Limits decks, because it just takes a dark into fusion, and all of the Tier Limits that do the fusions are themselves dark. So you actually recycle a fusion from your grave to make this, like Garuras. I think Kit Kalos was what you would do. So yeah, huge Amazing card, and on top of that, great stats, and it was also effect negation once per turn. You just put a Predator counter on things. It also disrupted levels, too, which was and a change of heart. That's just cool to have. That's just cool to have. Wow. All right, get them sleeved up. Get them there. Okay. I don't want to. I'll cover up the Lone Fire Blossom. I'm not covering up Albaz. You see Drago Stapelia in Albaz decks as well sometimes too, because you know, it's a big fusion deck. You have a lot of your own fusions if you're up against a dark monster. Heck, Albaz itself is a dark monster, so if your opponent's on a fusion, you can just fuse them away to make Drago Stapelia. Amazing stuff. Oh my gosh, how many more of these do we have? Oh my gosh. I thought we'd be blazing through these a lot faster. I mean, I guess half of this is the fact that I'm just not a very good pack opener in general. I'm being thwarted by packaging left and right. But half of success comes from perseverance, and the other half comes from, I don't know, in the comments. What's the other 50%? Okay, next up we have, okay, so this is Selene, the Queen of the Master Magicians. That's the presumably grown-up form of Artemis that we saw earlier for Magistus. Of all the lore that exists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, Albaz, Dual Terminal, Draco Slayer, the Magical Nations one that includes Endymion and Spellbooks and Witchcrafters is the one that I'm actually looking forward to most getting updates, because there's this huge mystery surrounding Magistus now that we have no clue about, and like every time I see a new card, I'm like, give me more. Tell me what's going on here. Borreload Savage, just huge huge power synchro for any deck that can make generics, and that really nifty, cool rarity for the set on Time Thief Redoer. Oh my gosh, the little sparkles across the gear that's so nice. What's our last card in here? It is Ecclesia. Oh my goodness. Okay, so not as high of a rarity as Albaz, but we have to team them up together. Okay, so Redoer going over here. I guess I should probably go over what makes these cards so important. So Redoer has been just a generically good rank 4 monster. People are driving by while I'm explaining cards. Can you believe how inconsiderate they are? Anyway, so Redoer has been playing a lot of generic rank 4 decks just as a way to, oh my gosh, this is not a, one second, oh my goodness. So as a way to get a powerful monster that can dodge removal, because it has effects depending on what material it can detach, and generally that's monsters. But it also steals cards off the top of your opponent's deck, so randomly you would get a spell card, which gets you a draw, or a trap card, which would let you put a face-up card your opponent controls on top of their deck, and all those effects are a quick play. But you would see it even more in decks like Phantom Knights and Trap Tricks, or really any deck that could afford to play like Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine, because it summoned itself immediately if you had no trap cards, itself being a trap monster, that you could overlay into that, so it's just free removal on top of that. So that saw a ton of play. Ecclesia is an outrageously powerful card. Searches any Dogmatica card. Huge buff, a huge play rather, would be to search something like Dogmatica Punishment, which was just removal. You would send Titaniclad, and that would... Let me see if I can get the focus here. There we go. Look at that. So this is an incredible combo starter, really great, and you can special summon it for free if there was an extra deck summon monster on the field, so you can do all of that without even having to use your normal summon. Absolutely stupendous. Ecclesia, let's get you right there with Albaz. Borreload Savage Dragon, you would see this, once again, in any Link deck that also had access to tuners. You would scoop up the Link monster as an equip, and then it would gain counters depending on the Link rating of that card, and then you could negate a card activation, a spell or trap card activation, or a monster effect activation once per turn. It doesn't destroy, but sometimes just having an Omni negate that, even if it didn't destroy, it just interrupted, was more than enough to build a oppressive board. And then Selene has been a really incredible way to get into Access Code Talker in Spellcaster decks. You would see this a lot actually in when Halka Fibrax was still legal. You would make Halka Fibrax and use it to summon Effect Veiler out of your deck because it was a tuner. It was also a Spellcaster. This needs 2+ monsters, including a Spellcaster, so you would immediately link into that. And then if you had enough, if there was enough spells between the field and the graveyards, it had the ability to revive a Spellcaster. You would get back the Effect Veiler, and then you just summoned Access Code Talker off of that. And by doing that, you did like what? Halka Fibrax was a water, Selene is a light, so not only have you gotten a 5300 attack Access Code Talker, you've also loaded 2 links into the graveyard for its removal effect. Not just 2 links, but 2 links of different attributes. If they were the same attribute, you wouldn't be able to use them both on the same turn, but because they were different, it was that much better. This pack gave me a little sideways look while I was opening it, but we got through it. Okay, Alpha, King of Beasts. This is a really cool anti-meta card. You just summon it. You can you summon it if you have a combined attack power of your monsters lower than your opponent's. You can just summon it and then bounce monsters. You target your own Beast Warriors, and Wing Beast, bounce them to the hand, and then bounce your opponent's cards. Sometimes you would just play Alpha and then just bounce Alpha as like a free bouncing. And then if your opponent still had monsters that had a higher attack, you could still summon this, because the summon from hand is not a hard once per turn, just the bounce is. So you could do some really silly stuff. I believe the restriction is that this can't attack directly the turn you do that, but it could still attack monsters. You'll have to double check me on this one. Dimensional Barrier, hugely played Floodgate card. It's not a continuous trap, but it does leave a lingering effect. You can just pick out just about any extra deck type outside of Link monsters. It even hits Pendulums too, because that was the style at the time. Lock them out from being summoned, and it negates the effects of those monsters on the field too, so hugely powerful. Very frustrating to deal with even now, because yeah, some decks just really focus on powerful certain kinds of extra deck types, and this just floodgates you out of it for a turn. You can set up a whole powerful board and then just name what you expect your opponent to have once they reveal it, and then they just can't play. Ancient Fairy Dragon, recent errata here in the TCG. The OCG's had it for a bit. Keeps FTKs from functioning like they used to with this card, but still gets you access to multiple field spells if you run them. It still summons a level 4 lower from hand by skipping your battle phase that turn. And is great material for other summons. Revolution Synchron can't come soon enough. Last card in this pack is a shinier version of Egyptian God Slime. We've already gone over this, though I think it is funny that while this does do really well in Egyptian God decks because it counts as 3 tributes for any kind of summon, it's also got some really funny synergy in Ice Jades, if you will all forgive a bit of a tangent here, because while it has the material, I believe its fusion material is a water monster and a level 10 aqua monster. You can also just tribute a 0 attack level 10 aqua monster, which there aren't really a lot of except for Metal Reflect Slime itself, which is generally how you're supposed to summon it. You would just flip up Metal Reflect Slime and tribute it away. Or in Ice Jade, you can summon out your level 10 monster and use the effect of your field spell to lower an Ice Jade's monster to 0 to lower the attack of all other monsters your opponent controls. I believe it's all monsters your opponent controls by the same amount, which means you now have a 0 attack level 10 aqua monster, which can go into Egyptian God Slime, which provides targeting protection to all of your other monsters, which I think is just a rad thing to have, even if you're not going to tribute it away for anything. Okay, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. There's a lot of Red Eyes monsters. This one, you would see this at top tables as just like a random card you would play in strategies that would send out level 7 monsters. It's kind of like a proto-masquerade, though in this case, this burns you for, I think, 500 or 700? The number should be on here. 500. Okay, it burns you for 500 every time one of your effects resolves, whereas Masquerade has you pay 600 to even activate effects. So, obviously Masquerade is way better, but this was kind of like the early design ground for that. The Iris Sword Soul, Fleur-de-Lis Sword Soul version, I love seeing this. Now, I don't know why it's particularly in here, maybe for like lore reasons, but I don't think this has seen a lot of competitive play, but it does still look fantastic. Nightmare. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright, 1 second. I'll get into you in just a second. And then a higher rarity raw sphere mode, which, just part of the whole tributing monsters to get around, big boards and unaffected monsters. Nightmare Unicorn is probably one of the most ubiquitous rank 3 monsters in the entire game. You can link it up with any Link 2 monster, with any other random monster to make this. For a single discard, you can target any card on the field and shuffle it back into the deck. This is general removal for our opponent's cards without, as long as it can be targeted. It also bypasses things like destruction removal, grave removal. You can even recycle some of your own cards with this if you wanted to, and you actually saw that happen in some Spiral matchups. I believe when the field spell was at 1, you needed to put it back into your deck so that you could use the effect of Mastermind multiple times instead of just 1 after you'd searched it. It was a legit strategy to put that back into the deck, which goes to show just how powerful Spiral was at the time. It is hard to really quantify just how wild it was to see Spiral hitting top tables after its basically abysmal showing when it first released, before Link summoning was even a concept we talked about. And then Double Helix came out, and then it by itself made the whole archetype click, and every other card that was just kind of whatever beforehand suddenly turned into an advantage engine that you just could not stop. With a boss monster that was like, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that it was Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King, on a whole other level, because you were popping double cards. It was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I think these have been the ones that have the super rarities. Let's do the. I see some pack opening channels like shuffle the most highest rarity one potential to the back to increase the suspense. Pot of oh, how am I missing this? Pot of... This isn't Avarice. This is definitely not Avarice. Oh, Desires. Pot of Desires. Here we go. See, I know my cards. I know them. Pot of Desires. Huge. The best -9 ever printed. It seems weird to go against card economy conventions so hard like that, but, you know, it proved itself over the years. Harpy's Featherstorm, we've already gone over how cool that is. Artifact Lancia, again, really nifty card. That's new. I don't think we've opened up this one out of this pack. This is just a diagonal kind of rarity. No cross-hatching, it's just diagonal. Ooh. Alright, alright. That slaps. And then Pot of Prosperity. Okay. Nice. Okay, so like Desires, basically most of the modern Pot cards, I can't think of a recent one that has actually missed, but yeah, these cards are absolutely fantastic. Pot of Prosperity gives you a selection out of your top 6, so if you're a combo deck that either doesn't necessarily use the extra deck, or has enough spots in the extra to use on it, allows you to basically pick what your 6th card in hand is out of your top 6, whereas Desires here is just, my deck is all gas. It's actually probably more geared towards decks that need their extra deck more, because it doesn't banish from there, it banishes from your main. So if you need gas and you play cards in multiples, so you're not worried about them being banished off the top, hugely impactful card. Holy cow. I'm really liking this. I have been able to find some... I think there's like one card in here I didn't understand was in here, like Ice Barrier. But seeing like the greatest hits of the game in here has been really cool. And I hope that we get something like this in the TCG at some point, but because this is a reprint set that's only about talk about older cards, I don't know if we'll get it. Like, I know we're not going to get these rarities like this. I for a fact, I know we're not going to get that. The closest thing we've gotten is like ghost rares back from like things like Ghosts of the Past. But we're not getting anything as beautiful as those ultimate shinies we've been opening up. Okay, so wow, let's shuffle that to the back. And we've got, Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon. Okay, not only is this support for Galaxy Eyes, one of the most beloved anime archetypes ever printed, just stupendously powerful. You pair this with any other level 8 monster, make something like Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. You probably should be making, making it with Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, to be honest, for the full damage, but, gives a huge buff, summons another monster for extra damage when you detach it as material, free summons when you have a Galaxy Eyes, I believe, hugely powerful, and it just got a huge boost in Photon Hypernova with the inclusion of the Chaos version of Prime Photon Dragon. So this, it's going wild. Mud Dragon of the Swamp, another big Super Poly target. I forget what the... People have got to stop driving their cars while I'm opening up product. Anyway, I forget exactly what the materials was. It's like different type, same attribute, or different attribute, same type. The point is that it's a generic one that you could use against certain matchups to just steal monsters away with super polymerization, and then it randomly gave targeting protection to everything that matched its attribute, and as a quick effect, you could change its attribute, so... pardon me. So you could, during your opponent's draw phase, you could just pick, like, okay, the rest of my monsters are dark. Let's go ahead and change Mud Dragon to dark and give them targeting. And unless they had, like, a quick effect they could play out of their hand during the draw phase, your monsters now just had targeting protection. It was really funny. Okay, a shinier version of Numeron Dragon. All right, okay. And a Fairy Tale Luna. Okay. So yeah, Luna Kaiju, I don't think I really got into it very much. Luna Kaiju, I don't think has been a chart-topping success, but it is a very powerful strategy. The idea is that you use, we've been opening up things like Lava Golem and Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode, things that tribute our opponent's monsters, which gets around things like being unaffected by card effects, and basically any kind of protection. As long as it can be tributed, you can kaiju it. And the idea would be that your opponent's probably not playing a kaiju, so Luna's effect is as a quick effect, target an opponent's monster, and they either have to send another copy of it from their deck or extra deck to the grave to negate the effect. Otherwise, both Luna and the targeted monster get bounced to the hand. You get both of them because it's your kaiju, and since your opponent's probably not playing kaijus, the effect is just going to go off. It's a really interesting application of like deck building and how the meta shapes up at any given time. If like kaijus ever become like a popular main deck tech pick to have, then there's a lot less you can do with that strategy, though I guess you could start playing some of the less popular kaijus. Most people will tend to just play things like Gamma Seal, Kumungus, maybe Radion, things that have the lower attack stats. So you could play things like Jizukiru or Thunder King, just to mess with your opponent. But yeah, it's really clever. I despise playing against it every time it comes up, but I do respect the hustle. Hat, stay up there. It's Yu-Gi-Oh's 25th birthday. You have to do this for me. Okay, next up is Magicalize Fusion. I don't think I've seen this doing a lot, like, competitively, but it is basically Dragon's Mirror 4 Spellcaster, so you can make some really funny stuff, including Quintet Magician, which, with enough differently named fusion material, just wipes your opponent's entire board. The new Winda is basically a search effect for wind monsters of certain stats. I believe it's 1500 or less defense. So that's cool to have on hand. Striker Dragon with a pretty foiling, and Ultimate Evenly Matched! Imagine dropping this on an unsuspecting opponent. You say end of main. You say end of battle. Your opponent quakes in their boots as you make them decide the one card they get to keep. Yeah. Hugely impactful. I don't know if technically it's a trap card that you play from your hand, so maybe it is a hand trap, but it feels like it's not being in reaction to anything. It's just like a board wipe. It's almost like a lightning storm that you play during specific circumstances. So I would comment down below, does evenly matched count as a hand trap or just a kind of removal like Raigeki and Lightning Storm? I think that's a pretty neat... I think there's some really interesting, like, when we start questioning the classifications that we give to things, because technically hand trap is not like a real term. There's nothing in the rulebook that says that Ash Blossom is a hand trap kind of thing. And heck, if you start going off the name, like, technically Ash Blossom wouldn't be a hand trap because it's not a trap card. It's just a monster effect in the hand. Is every monster like that? Who knows? Debate about it in the comments. All right, okay, we have another evenly matched, not quite as stunning, but we'll take more evenly matched. Time Thief Redoer, Called by the Grave. Now, this has been a hugely impactful card, originally printed as a common, if you'd believe it. Basically a staple 3 of as a way to get rid of monster effects that... well, like I was saying earlier, hand traps, things like Ash Blossom that went to the grave as cost for their activation. You could target it with Called by the Grave, banish it, and then apply a floodgate effect, essentially, that kept the effect of that card from being activated, or it negates the effects of that monster from till the end of the next turn after this was activated. So not only could you do that in response to hand traps to push your plays through, you could also just use this as ways to disrupt things that would grab cards out of the graveyard. Like if you, for instance, a Dante was sent to the graveyard and you're all like, I'm going to target Seer to get Seer back. You could banish the Dante to negate Dante's effect, or you could banish the Seer instead, in which case the effect would resolve, but the target would be gone. So this, another huge, huge card that definitely deserves to be in this pack. And hey, Lightning Storm, like I was saying earlier, really widespread removal option. You have to control no face-up cards to use it, but it does destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, or all spells and traps. So it's either a really specific Raigeki, or it's Harpy's Feather Duster. A really strong going second option for a lot of decks. Another iconic card that deserves to be in here. Even though it's new, there's a lot of like newer cards in here, which kind of speaks to the power level of the power creep of certain things. But that being said, we are on the last pack, our last of these. What I said, 15 when we started out here. Boy, howdy, how far we've come, how long this has been. Let me crack this. Okay, here we go. So, what do I want out of this one? I hope that we get that same kind of Albaz rarity, that really cool ultimate foiling with the really sparkly sparkles on there. Could we also get that for Eldritch? Eldritch has been, as much as I hate to say it, another iconic member of the channel, and I would love to have at least like just like a cool version of it to have on hand. Okay. Okay, Pot of Extravagance, another really strong Pot of card. This kind of marries the card draw of Desires with the extra deck shredding of Prosperity. So if you just need a lot of cards and don't care about your extra deck, this card is there to help you out. Next up we have another Ecclesia. Not quite as shiny, but we'll take more Ecclesia. We love the Virtuous one. Next up is Sea Moon. I've already did the joke. Very, very nice foiling on that one. Really cool. And last but not least, it's not Eldritch, but it is another unicorn. Which is quite nice. Okay, holy cow. Oh my goodness, these cards are pretty. Goodness gracious, I cannot wait to show some of these off. I have a whole binder, ever since I started doing, as I started getting stuff from Buyee and importing these cards, I have like a whole page in the back of my binder to show off these really good cards. Really nice looking ones. Holy cow, look, I gotta show this off again. Oh my goodness. How dare they do this to me specifically? How dare they give me the boy? Holy calzone. Look at that. Look at that. He's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Ecclesia not looking half bad either. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna show them off. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna watch me look at these and admire how cool they are. Like I'm already like a big fan of Ultimate Rares on all the time, and now you're telling me that you're gonna add some sparklies on top of that? Come on. How dare you threaten me with a good time like that? Oh, my goodness. I wish I could play OCG cards, because these look so cool. Darn you, region-locked stuff. You can play other languages from other TCG regions if you want, as long as you have the correct pronunciation on hands and updated erratas, but OCG cards. To clarify, once again, these are a collector's item if you are not in the OCG. These are meant to make your binder look really nice and show them off to everyone who will look at them, because they just do not make these kinds of rarities largely available in the TCG anymore. I believe Ultimates are just relegated to OTS packs now. Oh, man. But in Japan, they are printing these things any chance they can get. Wow, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy with what we got here. Opening up this amazing Rarity Albaz made my day. I can't wait to display this. Maybe I can put it as like a faceplate card on something, because I am, oh my gosh, I'm losing my whole mind. Okay. Yeah, no, I gotta start finding places to put these. I can't wait to go to locals next and show these off. If you want to join in on this one, I've got a link down in the description. By using it, you're supporting the channel. You're letting Buyee know that you enjoyed what you saw here and want to see more. And it also gets you a 2,000 yen discount code if you're signing up for a new account. So if you haven't tried it before, they want to help you get your first package a little cheaper so you can get some really cool collectibles like the Quarter Century Rarity Collection. I'm a huge fan. Okay, oh my gosh, I don't know how else to say words right now. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what card you liked seeing the most out of this collection, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so we can hit that 50k Akiza Explained video. We are almost there, and tell someone that you know about this video who loves Yu-Gi-Oh, because it really does a lot to help me out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.